I'm gonna do something that I hope makes logical sense, and I just nod your head and say, yeah, that makes logical sense. And then my next question is, you've ever heard that you're supposed to do this, and how ridiculous it is that you're not. So does it make sense that if I'm going like this, and my left shoulder's coming out, and my right hip is going back, that the pressure is going to go into the right heel? Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, when you're coming down, you shift left. This part of the pelvis goes this way. The chest extends up. I'm going to go to the left heel. That makes sense? Have you ever heard you're supposed to do that?
I've always heard drive off your right foot to get there.
Whoever said that needs to be killed. So, let's talk about that point.
Okay.
Is this a good golf swing?
No.
Is this a good golf swing?
Yes.
Did I drive off my right foot?
No.
You're actually supposed to drive off your left foot. Okay? You notice all the long hitters that they talk about?
Mm-hmm.
This left foot comes up and moves over here. They're driving off the left foot. If you drive off the right foot, you're going to early extend and hump the goat.
Drive off your front foot.
Hmm? Can't drive off your front foot if you don't get there. Okay? So now, if I get to the top of the swing and I'm in both toes, am I in a good position? If I'm in impact and I'm in both toes, am I in a good position? Okay? So, Gabriel having trouble getting his hands deeper. He had 80% of his weight in his right toes at the top of the swing. Are the hands going to be able to work this way if he's out on his right toes? Probably not. So, may I?
Sure.
Thank you. People will always say, like, oh, look, Justin Thomas, he never gets into his left heel. We don't need to do that. I love those arguments. This one great tour pro doesn't do something, so that means it's not important. Love those. So let me ask you guys this. Does this look like a simple, repeatable move that even someone who's never played or swung a club can do? Right heel, left heel. That's pretty simple looking, wasn't it? Really complicated thought, right? Now, if I shift a bunch of mass over here, am I going to get into the right heel? No. If I slide, am I going to get into the left heel? No. If I get my right hip behind me, am I going to get into the right heel? And if I go this way, am I going to get into the left heel? Okay? That's why these pelvis movements are so important. There's two different things. There's a theory right now that I happen to kind of mostly agree with, is that you need to allow your body to get out of balance to create speed. Okay? Because if you're trying to stay in balance, you're going to be slow and steered, and okay? But at the two different checkpoints in the swing, three actually if you count the finish, if you're out of balance in those positions, your body is not going to allow you to be out of balance in the dynamic speed producing positions. Does that make sense? So your body is always searching for balance. So if I'm out of balance at the top, is my body going to allow me to make a bunch of speed moves and get out of balance? Or am I going to kind of like slow down and kind of go...
Trying to get your back in balance, ain't it?
Trying to get your back in balance. Whereas, if I'm in balance and stable here, my body will allow me to do whatever I can to create a bunch of speed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then your recovering balance position is over here. So, in order to allow yourself to go out of balance and create speed, you need to be in balance here. And you need to understand that to recreate the balance that allows you to be out of balance, you need to get over here. Okay, you guys buying all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because look, am I going to be able to create any speed just going, trying to maintain my balance? You look at long drivers, you look at long hitters, they're jumping, bouncing, bobbing, weaving all over the place. But you know what they are at the top? they could stop at the top and sit here. So far I've had 2 of you on the pressure mat, and it's pretty much a 90% thing. Everybody's in their toes the whole swing. And then what happens is someone like the guy that came for a lesson yesterday, what was his name? Doesn't matter. Here's how he created his balance. I can't even do it. All right, here we go. He was like, I mean, his toes were curling up. He had his rear end so far back because he's like, Monty, I'm always in my toes at impact. So I'm trying to sit back onto my heels. Well, guess what? If you're sitting back on your heels and out of balance, what's your body gonna do? Psst, fire right toward the toes. Okay? So that's why. So look, Dan, come on over here.
Okay. Would it be too much if I asked you to point that at me?
Sure.
You want
I'm
to
getting some good gold out of this here right now.
Okay, so come on over here.
Stand in front of you?
No, just you put the club down.
Oh.
Okay? So, I'm left toe, right heel. I look pretty stable, don't I? Dan, grab me around the shoulders and just kind of move me around and see how stable I am. See? I'm pretty solid, agreed?
Yeah.
Watch this. This doesn't look that much different, does it? Doesn't look different at all. Dan, rock me
You're
around,
good
rock
on your
me that
toes
way.
now, though, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Totally different.
Okay? Here's what I did. I went from 70% in my heel to 70% in my toes. That is not very much of a difference. But you saw, he moved me around. And then when he did it that time, he went like this and nudged me over. That's why this is important, okay? And so, for every 20 people I put on this mat, 19 of them are in the rear toes at the top of the swing. Because you know why? Because they're shifting mass. This hip is out of position. Whereas if this hip works back and behind you, where am I gonna go?
heel?
Okay? For you, this is huge.
Yeah.
I guarantee you when we get on here, this is your problem. Now, if I go to the left toes in the top, and I try to go down with my shoulder,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to get, everything in the swing is a counterbalance, you know? Everyone says lag the club. No. When you rotate the body, the counterbalance is the wrists have to be sending the club that way as the body is pulling the club this way. That's the counterbalance. In order to allow the shoulders to tilt correctly, the right hip has to go up and back. And I have to be in my heel so I don't lose my balance and want to fall over and slow down. Everybody, this is making good sense to everybody?
Can I ask something kind of annoying?
No.
But can you go through the complete movement in kind of a slow speed and tell me where you're initiating your power from as you move? Or can you say,
From the setup, I mean, what's the pressure distribution?
yeah, 'cause I get lost initiating the power. I don't understand.
I'm going to show you right now,
Okay.
okay? There are 3 ways that you can initiate speed in a golf swing. Rotationally, laterally, vertically,
Okay.
okay? In the movement, all body parts, wrists, hips, shoulders, okay? Everybody has one that they're gonna use more. Justin Thomas, more rotationally, a little bit vertically, not too much laterally, okay? I don't use very much rotation. I don't use very much lateral. I use vertical like nobody's business.
Like who on tour, like 1 or 2 guys, who do you think uses the vertical?
Matt
Thank you.
Wolf uses it even more than I do.
You gotta send me that video.
I will. I'll send
Bubba
it. Yeah.
Watson uses it a ton. Okay? So you'll see the guys that are vertical don't really get that open. Because if you're going this way, so the vertical should be delivered around here somewhere. So if I'm going this way, I'm not going to have a lot of that way. And if I'm going this way, I'm not going to have a lot of. So the object is not to rob Peter to pay Paul. And most golfers will use their vertical way too much, way too hard, at the wrong time, or the rotational or the lateral. You guys, at some point, are using one of them way too much. Okay? So the object is to get the best benefit out of all 3. So now I'm coming to your question. this is obviously going to be individual, but this is a guideline will work. This is a guideline starting point will work for everybody. So, waist. This is extension. This is flexion. Extend, flex. Everybody got that? Okay. So, in a powerful swing, you extend at the waist and rotate the hip into the right heel. Then you reflex into the left heel. Then you rotate and push off. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Doing that in slow motion, isn't that what most good players do? When you watch a World Long Driving Championship on TV, aren't you seeing that in an extreme? Do you ever see good players that hit it far do this? You don't see much of that, do you? Hey, I'm shifting my weight and I'm opening my hips. That's your problem. You do what I just showed because your hands aren't deep enough, so you're trying to go like this, and now your arms trail. Now you're all out of range of motion, and it's just that. So what you got to get going is you got to get back here in the right heel, bring it to here, then rotate and push. Hit it a lot farther, hit it straighter, hit it more in the center of the club face. That's the other thing. If I didn't say this already, distance and accuracy are discussed as mutually exclusive. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. When you improve your golf swing, you improve your dispersion and your club head speed. Things that improve club head speed the right way will improve dispersion. Things that improve dispersion the right way will increase club head speed. They're not exclusive, they go together.
Some of the long drive guys, I mean, I haven't watched it, I've watched some of it. It almost seems like some of them are going back away from the target. Why is that? Is that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, absolutely. I don't like that. That is them trying to create too much of an up angle of attack and too much of a vertical launch with a low. That's not helpful. Now there's a little bit of, so look, the angle of the vertical force is this way. So it's, okay? That's why the upper body has to drift forward, so then when you use the vertical force, then you're behind it. If you get back here and stay behind it, it's terrible. Is that? So if you're shifting mass over here, how are you going to generate any speed from here? Okay? Now, if you look back at my long drive days, I was taught the mass shift, but if you watch carefully, I went like this. I'd go here, here, here. Too far to go. It's too hard to reproduce. But I got there. And that's why my thought was to stay behind the ball, because when I moved too far this way, I would have a tendency to move too far that way and get out of position. So for me, I'd go here, stay behind it, stay behind it, stay behind it. So I wouldn't get too far forward.
I have one more stupid question. You said like speed makes up for a lot of mistakes.
Yes,
So like you watch the long drive guys, these guys can't hit one ball in the fucking grid.
that's because their swings suck. That's part of it. The other part of it is they're only spinning the ball in the thousands. So just let's do an apples for apples comparison. I wasn't kidding. A lot of their golf swings are terrible. Okay? Kyle Berkshire, the young guy with the long hair that just won, his golf swing is fantastic. Okay? But think of it this way. So you've watched PGA Tour events on TV. You see a guy and you see the shot tracer and you see a guy pummel a drive 320 down the middle of the fairway, it turns over, ends up in the left side of the fairway. Okay? That is a 9-degree loft driver being swung at 120 miles an hour and spinning 2300. Okay? Those exact same impact dynamics with a 2-degree loft driver spinning at 12 or 1300 is going to hook 60 yards out of the fairway. Maybe not that much, but it's gonna snipe. That's why low spin is, you know, everything in golf is sold to you guys as a straight line curve. More is better. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
More lag, less spin, more club head speed, more of this, more hip speed, more. Everything in golf is a parabolic curve. You hit a certain point and more is actually worse. Lag, club head, spin, launch angle, angle of attack, hip speed. They're all parabolic curves. And people are trying to get people to the wrong side of the curve down here. You know, dropping into the slot, getting underneath and getting stuck is just as shitty as coming over the top of it. So, you know, I'm trying to get everybody to the top of the curve. And too often, the downside on the other side of the curve is what's taught. Okay, more is better, more is better. Or in the case of spin, less is better, less is better. You know, more. Use vertical force more. Squat and jump, that's crap too. You know, you want everything. My favorite word in golf instruction, Monty, how much of this should I do? Some. Some is almost always my answer. How much should I get into the right heel? Some. How much should I feel my right hip working back and behind me instead of shifting? Some. How much down should my left shoulder go? Some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good one.
So far, you know, I've had 2 people on the mat. Both of them are in the right toes. It's hard. It can be done. I've seen pressure traces, some of the best players in the world, 70%, 80% in their right toes at the top. They're awfully good, but it's hard to recover from there. It's harder.